Hi guys, welcome. Happy New Year to all of you. This is literally like the first video of 2022. So super excited to be here with all of you guys. And I wanted to film this before it got even further into January. We're already 3 days in. So not quite too, far into January, but I wanted to get this out before it got too late. So we're going to be talking about my deck picks for the remainder of the winter season. So what happened was I pulled decks for fall back in I think it was like it was about the beginning of September is usually when I start to do fall. And then I put those away after Halloween. And then that weird transition from it's still kind of fall season going into the beginning of winter. I pulled other decks. So I was using my Yule deck, and I was using some florally ones and just some stuff that kind of reminds me of Christmas time. And now that Christmas is over and the holiday season is done, I pulled some decks that I want to work with for the remainder of winter. This is the pit of winter that we're in right now. And it's been cold. It's been, just that winter vibe, even though we haven't gotten snow here where I live yet. It could still happen. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to. But I wanted to kind of pull decks that reflect that wintry vibe before we slide into spring in March. So for the next 2.5 months, these are the decks that I'm going to be working with. So let's start with the tarot decks first. So I brought out the Star Child Tarot, and this is the Akashic edition. So this one really gives me those winter vibes because it is very pastel-y. It's very icy feel. It feels cold to me. I don't know, just the color scheme in this deck is just very cold. It's a deck that I struggle with connecting to, so I am pushing myself to work with this deck more often so that I can learn to love it more. But as you can see, there's lots of purples, there's lots of blues, some lighter, greens and yellows, but it has a very cold feel to me. So I thought that the Star Child Tarot Akashic Edition would be the perfect deck to bring out for the winter season. Another tarot deck is the Victorian Romantic Tarot. This is the third metallic edition. So I thought this one would be perfect because it kind of goes with that cold feel. The Victorian Romantic does remind me, it's a very romantic, obviously, Valentine's Day, love and relationship type of energy. And since wintertime, what is it called? Valentine's Day runs in the winter. I just thought it would be perfect for that. So this one, the third edition, the metallic edition, has these beautiful blue, royally blue backs. And I thought that this would look really nice for winter time. And it's just fresh. It's fresh. It could be kind of springy, but I don't know. I just think that this deck has so much different vibrations to it depending on the oracle decks that you match it with. And to me, it's always just been about love. And I always love to use this around the lovey time, which is Valentine's Day. So I thought this one would be a good pick, and it's a beautiful deck. And if you have it, you will understand why. It's actually my favorite edition, surprisingly, of all of the editions that came out of this deck. The third one is my most favorite. I love the cardstock. It's a little bit thinner than the other ones, which makes it super easy to shuffle. And I don't know, it's just one of my favorite editions. So there's that. And the last two, so I'm really keeping my tarot decks very limited in this batch because I like to use more oracles. So the last two tarot decks, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. The last two tarot decks I chose are Rider-Waite. So if I do feel like I want, you know, a little bit of Rider-Waite, or sometimes if I want to pair a Rider-Waite with a different tarot deck, I chose both of these are my Etsy. These are Etsy decks, so you can find them on Etsy. And they're just like, they go with the theme of like that pastel cotton candy kind of colors. So this one has the beautiful blues, pinks. You have some of those teal colors, purples. It's really, really pretty. And I just feel like it's a good pick for, I think it would just look really, really nice, you know, next to the Star Child Tarot. Like, I feel like the colors just would go. So there's that one. This one I think is called, I think it's called, what is it? Desert Stardust or Stardust, or I don't know. It has a really cool name. Oops, I just totally ripped the box. I don't know, but it's a Etsy deck. You can find it on Etsy. So love it. The other one is the Cotton Candy, or I call it the Cotton Candy Tarot. And again, you have these gorgeous blends of pinks, blues, purples, yellows, and it just really, I feel this would just look really, really nice paired with that Star Child Tarot or some of the other oracles that I pulled. Just to me, this like screams, I mean, this would be a really pretty spring deck too, but I really think this is like icy and cold, and I don't know, it just gives me that feel. So I thought it would be perfect. Okay. So the oracle decks, I'm talking about those colors. So this one is the Inner Star Oracle deck. This is the Magic edition. So I really, really have been working with this one a lot the last couple days. It's so simple, and the cardstock feels so similar to the Star Child Tarot. The colors are just like, again, you got those pastel-y purples and blues, and they're really simple and just easy to read, and they're gorgeous. Look at these colors. So I love this look. I really think that this fits with the theme that I'm trying to go for with the colors, the scheme of the decks. And yeah, it's a really fun oracle deck. It's different. I love the simplicity about it. The images are beautiful, and it just really creates that like intuitive hit that you're looking for when it comes to reading. So I love it. I also went with a Doreen Virtue deck. So this one is the Crystal Angels. And I love this deck. It's probably one of my most favorites out of all of Doreen decks. Because it's a crystal deck. So each card is a crystal. And again, look at the colors. They just kind of go. It's like that beautiful rainbow of color. And the messages too, there's little individual messages at the bottom of each of the cards. And they're so intuitive and juicy, and they go with any question. Like, you can ask any question and you're going to get, you know, the perfect insight. So I don't know what it is about these decks, but like they are so accurate, and it's just really, really delicious. So again, these would look really nice paired with one of those Rider-Waite decks that I was telling you guys about. I don't know. I just think that they all kind of go together. So that's what I was going for. So that's the Crystal Angels Oracle cards. This one was a shocker. I was actually like intuitively pulled to grab this deck. So I know that this was spirit, because there's probably going to be a reading with a client that's going to happen later in the future where this deck is going to be like perfect for them. So I'm trusting that feeling. And this is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle. This deck was in my like list, my pile to sell 2 or 3 times, and I've never sold it. So it always, I can't get rid of it. I don't know what it is about this deck. So it's supposed to be in my collection, I guess. I really love the backs of this one. I find it so beautiful. So you have like this kind of like, it reminds me of a mirror, but it's not so much a mirror. It's more of like a portal. And then you have the clouds in the background. So this kind of vibe, like the clouds also kind of matches another deck that I'll show you. But it gives me that feel of like winter. At least up here where I live, like the sky is so blue and clear. And when there's cloudy days and the sun hits it just right, like there's so much beautiful colors in the clouds or in the sky, and I'm always taking pictures of it. So the backs really is what drew me in for this, to put it in this pile. So I do still use the guidebook a bit when I'm reading with this deck, because it could be a little bit too whimsical for me, where I need a little bit more to kind of gauge what it's trying to say for a reading. But it's a very like fairy tale-ish kind of a vibe. And I don't know, I really feel like if this doesn't go with every reading, there's gonna be someone that I'm gonna be working with later in the year this is gonna call to. So that deck I pulled just based off the reason that I was intuitively called to pull this deck out, but I really feel like this is gonna work for someone special. I just haven't met them yet. The other deck that I pulled, because of that like cloud, the sky feel that I was talking about, is the Power of Surrender cards. So this one has a very native feel to it, but it also has like these gorgeous backs like of the clouds. So when I want like a very naturey, earthy, soft, and just a real soft, grounded kind of a deck, this is one of those that I love to go for. So the backs just really do it for me. You have this gorgeous sunset, the water, it's beautiful. But the colors in this deck are very light and pastel-y as well. And then the messages are very, very like juicy. You go deep. You could go super deep with this deck. It's a very soul journey, dealing with the shadows. It's a deck of everything that you need to surrender in your life. So when you're looking at the more negative or the darker or the shadow parts of yourself, this is a deck for you. So I just thought that this one would be a really good addition to pull for some of these other tarot decks that are a little bit more, maybe not so much like a high vibration, like although the Star Child Tarot can have like a high vibration kind of a feel. But when I'm working with like pastel colors, that to me like screams positivity, and not every reading is going to reflect that. So I kind of wanted an oracle deck that was going to kind of bring out more of the shadow for, you know what I mean? Like the shadow for those decks. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. And lastly, the deck that I pulled for the pile is the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So last time I was working with, I don't think I have it anymore. No, I don't. And I can never think of it, what it's called. Is it the Hidden Forest? Shadow Forest? I don't know. You guys have seen it. I was working a lot with it the last couple months. Well, the Shaman Dream Oracle is kind of like that. So this one is by Colette Baron Reed, which I do believe Colette did the other one as well. But this one I haven't really worked much with because it has a different vibration. Like the other one is very intuitive, but this one I had to kind of use the guidebook just a little bit sometimes, like if I'm not feeling attracted to the message. So I pulled it out because I think it would be kind of like a cool deck to kind of learn to work with more. And because it has the same or similar feel as that other Oracle deck. And since I'm trying to like branch out and work with some stuff that I haven't used in a while or at all, I thought this one would be really good to learn and to teach myself to work with. So that is this one, and the imagery in this one is gorgeous as well. Very whimsical, very fairy tale, which again, like the fairy tale kind of feel, like that vibe, is definitely coming out in a lot of these decks that I pulled. So that wasn't really intentional, it just kind of happened. But yeah, so I think all of the cards or all of the decks that I pulled for this next couple of months are really going to be exciting to work with and to see how they all play out with each other. But I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm going to be working with. And yeah, so that is that. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while since I last filmed. The holiday season was fun. I'm glad it's over though. And I'm just really excited to see what 2022 brings, and what videos I'm going to be putting out on the channel and all this and that. And I'm just doing my thing, working, doing my readings. And I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you guys are all excited and looking forward to seeing what the new year brings for you guys as well. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to go, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye, my loves.